to you, and let's talk a bit about the DACA decision made by the court and was written by Chief Justice John Roberts. What was he telling the Trump administration?
He was telling the Trump administration precisely the same thing that he told the Trump administration in the census case last year, which is that when you try to change administrative policies by executive order, you need to go through proper procedures, and you can't give fake reasons. That was the core of the decision. The administration said the reason that we wanted to repeal DACA, which the Obama administration had imposed by executive order, is because we thought the policy was illegal. But Chief Justice Roberts said when you issued that letter saying that the policy was illegal, we don't think that was the real reason you changed the policy. We think there were other reasons. And we also think that you didn't do what the statute required, which is to balance your views about the merits of the law against the harms to the DACA beneficiaries, including the 200,000 people who have to be deported, costs for their families, and the statute requires that balancing of costs and benefits. So Chief Justice Roberts said, you came up with another reason later that was a little more complicated, but you can't come up with post hoc reasons. We're going to judge your policy based on the reasons you give when you actually handed down the policy, and this reason just won't cut it. So he said, go back to the drawing board. If you want to repeal this policy, you have to go through proper notice and comment procedures, you have to weigh costs and benefits, and you have to give us a real reason. If you do that, we'll take another look. But at the moment, we're not going to approve this. It's just what he did in saying that Secretary Wilbur Ross couldn't take the citizenship question on the census without proper procedures, and it shows Chief Justice Roberts' commitment to regular administrative procedures when it comes to administrative law.
Now, Maggie, my understanding is that any president has, or in this case, the President Trump has the power to end the DACA program, I guess the way President Obama was able to create it. Is there a legitimate reason for ending DACA you think that would be appealing to this court?
There may be, but the reasons are procedural. So the DACA decision rested on the procedures that the Trump administration went through to repeal the DACA. And the court explicitly discounted in Part 4 the idea that DACA was rescinded in this case because the Trump administration was racially discriminatory or discriminatory based on national origin. They rejected that. And so those, even all of the statements made by the Trump administration in advance about the Latinx community couldn't meet the standard. And so the reasons were actually brushed to the side, and Justice Sotomayor's dissent and partial concurrence is, the feeling that there is no possible reason. It's basically the Trump administration can discriminate racially in the context of national origin as long as they follow proper procedures, which is actually a pretty narrow, it is a win, but it's a narrow win. And it's one that we should be cautious of because the reasons should matter. Those statements made by the administration should matter. And we saw this earlier in Trump v. Hawaii, where we had the travel ban upheld despite the fact that the Trump administration had made very clear that this was a religious discrimination. This was based on national origin against Muslims, the Muslim community. And so I think that there is, a caution to seeing the opinion as a complete win, even though on its face, like the upholding of the Affordable Care Act and Obamacare, it looks like a win in the short term. There really is some problems with the opinion in the long term. You had 8 justices signing on saying we don't really care about this discriminatory reason. They can discriminate. The bar is very high as long as the procedures are fine getting to that decision.